David here is a student in Psych 3 listening to his awesome TA give an overview of the course. Everything is going well until his TA says those three dreaded words. An icebreaker activity. David screams why inside his head and immediately starts panicking and getting nervous. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating his reaction a little in this scenario, but this is actually a very common experience among many students. A survey was done with a sample of university students in the United States, and it was found that approximately 76% of students felt anxious during icebreaker activities. So why is it the case that icebreakers, which are meant to be fun and enjoyable, causing this sort of opposite effect in a large majority of students? Well, we can refer to some famous psychology experiments to figure out why. A psychologist named Sheriff conducted an experiment where participants had to guess how much a small dot of light moves around in a pitch black dark room. They then had to share these estimates with two other individuals who also shared their guesses on how much the light moved. This was repeated over many trials, and eventually something amazing occurred. Over time, participants' responses converged towards a common answer despite having different initial estimates, leading to the formation of a norm. This experiment really highlights how we readily converge towards norms in any sort of given situation. But why do we value conforming to norms so much? One reason is that conforming to norms has a normative function, meaning that it ensures we don't experience social rejection, and given that humans are social species, this is very important to us. Another reason is that norms have an informational function, meaning that if we're in a confusing or ambiguous situation, we can rely on norms to then know how to act in that given situation. The problem with icebreakers is that they lack these norms that we greatly rely on. They usually ask very open-ended questions like, if your life had a theme song, what would it be? Or probably the most common one, tell us something interesting about yourself. With these type of questions, students don't know what answer they're supposed to give, leading to that informational function piece, and also they're scared that their answer might risk them getting excluded by the group or being judged by others. But of course, not everyone experiences the same level of anxiety. Our friend David here experiences high anxiety when he hears just the words icebreaker, but his classmate Jane only feels a little anxious but is excited to participate in this fun activity. These different reactions may be explained by differences in extroversion. Extroversion is a personality trait that exists on a dimension. People who fall high in extroversion are generally more outgoing, sociable, and assertive, whereas people who fall low in extroversion are more quiet and prefer to spend time alone. Extroversion is also correlated with anxiety levels, where lower levels of extroversion predict greater levels of anxiety. So we could take this correlation to then understand why David and Jane react differently to icebreaker activities. Since David reacts with high anxiety, this may be because he falls low in extroversion, whereas since Jane reacts with low anxiety, this may be because she falls high in extroversion. Overall, the anxiety for icebreaker activities are due to this fear of social rejection, this fear that we might not give the right or correct answer to the question, and also due to pre-existing differences in extroversion levels. So to make icebreakers a safe and fun experience for all, it is important that we address these three sources of anxiety. To address the first two, educators can maybe first provide their own answer to that icebreaker question so that students have a norm to base their answers off of. To address differences in extroversion, educators can maybe split the class into smaller groups and then have those students discuss the activity in those groups. And in that way, students who are low in extroversion can feel more comfortable participating and sharing their thoughts and ideas. So hopefully, by incorporating all those suggestions, students like David go from saying icebreaker nay to icebreaker yay. Yay.